Travers, ABC News, Washington, D.C. correspondent. Good morning, Karen.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, there's this attempt now to kind of thread the needle and come up with something down the middle that's not so big that Republicans would oppose it and not so clunky, I guess you could say, that the Democrats would oppose it. Now, this is what Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, is trying to do. If you're on the no-fly list and you're on a smaller TSA selectee list, about 100,000 people, if you're on that list, you cannot buy a gun. But, McGraw, some Democrats say it's not enough. There's 900,000 other people who are on terror watch lists, and they can just walk into a gun store and have no problem. Some Republicans say that it's a slippery slope, and there should be the courts involved to make sure that there's a proven reason that somebody should not be allowed to purchase a weapon, not just because they're on this no-fly list. So it's tricky. Susan Collins and her fellow Republicans and 5 Democrats are trying to do something that can move forward, but unclear if they could get those 60 votes.
Democrats have to be clear or careful not to overplay their hand. Every time somebody says it's not going to guarantee to stop a violent act, Democrats say, well, it might not stop everything, but it'll help, right?
Right, exactly.
If this bill helps, but it doesn't solve all the problems, they look like they're playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah, and I think, Lindsey Graham, who we just heard, he said a couple times yesterday, he owns an assault rifle. He supports this bill. He said, it doesn't bother me one bit if you're on the TSA no-fly list that you can't buy a gun. He said, passing this won't solve terrorism, but it's a step in the right direction that makes sense. So kind of giving some cover to Republicans by coming out strongly in favor of this, that, okay, Lindsey Graham's for it. He's a gun owner. We can get behind this too. But, I think Tim Kaine also summed it up well by saying, if we're waiting around for a Democratic bill to fly through or the Republican bill to sail through, that's not going to happen. And in the meantime, there could be another incident like Orlando.
All right, Karen, read the tea leaves for us. What's the backstory here? Why for the last couple of days has there not been able to get a deal, but now it looks like there is, as you say, a chance to thread the needle?
Well, it's that same old story that we've probably talked about many times before, that like when their back is up against the wall, somebody comes through with something that could be appealing to everybody. But here's the important thing with this. This isn't a debt ceiling deal. This isn't a budget deal. Even if this gets passed in the Senate, there's really no inclination that we're seeing from the House Republican leadership to take any of this up on that side. Paul Ryan said last week flat out that you can't solve terrorism by doing gun control or infringing on the Second Amendment. He wants to focus on counterterrorism, stopping homegrown radicals, foreign policy. So, more cold water this week. But even if this does hit that 60 votes, I don't know where it goes after that.
Karen Travers with ABC News. Karen, thanks for checking in. Great job. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great day.
6:55 here, Big 550.